Yes, people. Welcome to Strasbourg Steve again, live on the channel. I said I'd be consistent with it in regards to going live every single day since I came back from my YouTube um, uh, transfer ban, basically. You'd think Newcastle United were in a transfer ban, Andy, with the way we've been acting.
To be honest, I would be. I think I'd be far happy after where Isak wouldn't be able to leave then.
Yeah. But yeah, big up Andy obviously for joining me. But yeah, I'm getting fed up with Newcastle United's window by the day. Today broke me. In fact, I was so angry that I had to call Andy on my lunch break earlier today and kind of have a rant about it because I'm sick of the lowballing. I'm sick of not the speculation, but the speculation with no resolution in sight for either incomings or outgoings. I'm sick of the fact that we brought in one player and I don't think he's worth what we paid for him.
The lack of approved process, Steve. It's organized chaos. It's amateur-like activity. Look, it's all good and well. Anyone can make a bid for a player that they know it's going to be rejected. That doesn't show ambition. It shows a lack of foresight, in my opinion. The Ekitike one was an ambitious one, but how ambitious are you when ultimately the difference between you potentially signing that player and not signing that player was £5 million? Once Liverpool got a sniff that our bid had been rejected, it went public. Liverpool goes on to it. Had we done our business maybe a little bit better, that not getting leaked, or at least when it did get leaked, showed some kahunas and says, look, there's the extra £5 million. We'll try and sort of deal out there. If he then chooses to go to Liverpool, then fine, we've done our job, but we haven't gotten anything over the line. You then look at the likes of Pedro. Yes, he wanted Chelsea. I don't think that was the transfer I would have been happy with. I've rated him for a while, as you well know. But again, we've lost out to Chelsea. Look, there's no shame in that. We've lost out on Trafford for Man City. But today's one's just a kick in the teeth, really. We know Brentford have said for weeks they only want to lose one of Brentford, Mbumbo or Wissa. If one was to leave, then it was going to have to take a big bit to lose the other one. And then we go and lowball them a £25 million offer.
Yeah, that's what has me furious, because especially given how the talk with Isak, apparently his wage demands are, I saw 300K, I saw 300K euros. I've seen I've seen those two. So I don't know what it is, but either way, it's going to be like a huge bump up for our salary, like our wage structure and all that. I would say, for me, I would break the wage structure, but there are pitfalls of that just in terms of the locker room stuff. I get that. But at the end of the day, is this a false statement?
No, it's not a false statement.
Yeah, he deserves it. Otherwise, he's going to get it somewhere else. Andy, do you think by the end of the transfer window, do you think he'll be somewhere with 300K a week? I think he will.
If he leaves, he'll be getting in around about that figure, yes. Look, a player of his ability elsewhere would be getting that type of money. But, like we quickly discussed beforehand, we don't know the exacts of what went on, how Isak's given this message to Newcastle. We don't know if the dummy's been spat out. We don't know whether his representatives have just said, look, in the light of bids coming towards Ekitike, the money that Ekitike is going to be paid to go to Liverpool, we feel as if our client should be paid more to reflect his value. Now, Newcastle they'll have known for a while that ultimately this decision was going to have to be made sooner or later. Apparently, it was promised to him by Amanda and Mirdad, and then Mitchell assumed that it wasn't important, let it sit on the back burner, and it's come back to bite her in the arse heavily. My attitude is on, as we quickly again discussed before we went live, offer him something in the region of $250 a week with some very achievable incentives that so far at the end of the season, if them goals have met, his wage will meet 300 grand a week. Because if you go and give him 150, 120 grand a week more than your other highest earner, the dynamic in the dressing room, it could be temperamental. There's many top players have always said, you know, how many times you heard an ex-professional turn around and say, you know, he wasn't a great trainer, he wasn't this, his attitude stunk, but he'd go and win with a game on a Saturday, so we didn't care how much extra he was getting paid because he deserved it. I don't see that happening in our dressing room. If that amount of that gap happens, you can have someone on 50 grand a week more than you. That is a big jump. 300 grand a week.
Didn't Ivan Toney at Brentford have a pretty sizable gap in wages with his and everyone else? Because Brentford, I'm gonna show you real quick. A few months ago, my guy Sava in Football Heritage.
I think that's because Tony showed loyalty. He could have left Brentford a few times, and he stayed.
I'm going to show you the gap of his weight, and I know Brentford on the top side and like all that stuff, but bro, I'm telling you, we have seen it before. We have seen it before where one player, particularly the striker, gets paid more than everyone else.
Look, the strikers are the ones that you get the extra money because they're the ones that win you the games. But I think that gap is.
Oh wow, maybe he didn't. Wait, let's try.
It's son, by the way, Mafia in the chat is just what I've read. My imagination would tell us it's around about 200 grand a week at least he'll be on. Ultimately, if he's getting 200 grand a week and Isak's representatives are getting told that, they'll be telling their client that he's entitled to something over that.
Yeah, I would say so. So, I don't know. For me, I just want them to submit an offer in. Yeah.
That's the number one priority. You need to sort the Isak scenario out before you do anything. Wissa for me is signing for either scenario. If you lose Isak, you need to go and get a replacement for him and Wissa's still your backup. Or if Isak stays, Wissa's a backup. I think it's a safe signing in that sense. Okay, it's not the most fashionable signing in the world, but it's practical and it's safe. And it suits either situation in the budgets. But this Sesko talk is, for me, that's only if Isak leaves. There's no way you're going to sign Sesko for near 80 million quid, giving him 200 grand a week and then giving him a new contract. There's no way.
Yeah, no. I don't think Sesko. I think Sesko's probably priced himself out of a move because I don't think a PSG are going to go for him. I don't think a Real Madrid would. I don't think a Barcelona would either necessarily.
And a lot of other teams have just signed strikers. Some of the Juve, for example. Milan have just signed a striker. I think they're looking at Mateta from Palace.
Yeah.
So, look, for me, the Isak situation needs solved before really any massive signings are made. I don't class 30 million, 33 plus add-ons maybe for Wissa would really affect what else we need to do. If the worry that you've got is that if you go and sign Wissa and don't have a backup striker in the sense to replace Isak, and then we get towards the end of the window and we get an offer we can't refuse, you're left holding your dick in your hand because then who do you go and get to replace Isak?
I'm not even worried about. You know this about me because I watch football from I'm confident I could find someone. And given Newcastle's, like I said this before on Saturday after the Celtic game on UNSC Talk TV, like Newcastle, we have a good history with strikers. We've had more good ones than bad ones that we've made as the starter. Would you agree with that in your lifetime? You've seen more good than bad.
We've had some stinkers, mate. But we've when we have spent money, that's normally a position that we've went and spent it in.
It's usually paid off. 3 out of 4 times.
Not every time. I mean, you could argue Hosselu, as much as he did a job, was, let's say, a disappointment. I seen him in the Bundesliga when he was young, and I was quite a fan of him. He was at Malaga when he was young as well. It just didn't work for him here. Look at what he did at Real Madrid. Okay, he wasn't a starter for them, but he still did a job. There's been some bad ones, though, let's be honest. Albert Luque didn't work. Stefan Gourange didn't work.
Didn't Luque have injury problems, or was that no?
Yeah, I think it was more of a Luque problem than it was an injury problem, if I'm honest. I was a massive fan of him when he was playing in Spain, but it's never going to work for him here. He said himself he didn't like it here. So,
Yeah, he probably should have checked out the place before he moved there.
I mean, Karasi, I know he's a little bit older.
I'd take him. Yes.
That's who,
Pick up
I think
Alam as well.
that's who I would go and get, because regardless whether Isak leaves or not, he can be a really big part of the team.
Boniface?
For me, I think Karasi's all around. Boniface a better age, and maybe Eddie could work with him, but I think you are going to have a bit of a layout on funds there. What's that going to be? 65 million plus, maybe.
I think you can get him for 55.
Mate, the problem with Boniface is if you sign Wissa, you lose them both for African Cup of Nations.
Yeah, which is where a Mateta.
I like Mateta.
I do too. I do too. I think Eddie Howe could get he could get 20 in a season in the Prem.
I just think you're going to lose a little bit in the press, which Eddie obviously builds our home games from. Really, our home games is really where we go on that press. It's not that he's not mobile. He's just maybe not mobile at the level that Eddie likes up top.
Just not as quick.
But then they'll just sit him back when we haven't got the ball in a 10 position and let Gordon or something come inside and set the press and push the left back.
He's stronger. He's more well built than Isak, and he's better in the air as well.
He's probably better in the 6-yard box than what Isak is, in all honesty.
Yeah, like attacking the yeah.
And just holding people off and scoring the old school strikers goals. Look, Isak's a far better all rounder, let's be honest. But
yeah, of course. Well, that's
I would take him and it's a type of player that you would hope that you'd be able to attract. Bearing in mind where Palace are and where we are at the moment.
Yeah.
But we need to sort of that situation out. That for me, we fly out on Friday. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see if he's on that plane on Friday.
If who? If Wissa's on the plane or Isak? I don't think he will. I think he's gone.
Probably. Injury.
Yeah. I think he's gone because I don't think we'll offer a package that they'll accept. So I think he's as good as gone.
Yeti lad?
I think he's gone. Big up, long-haired Yeti. Been a minute, bro. Big up, bro. Hope you're doing well, man. Gotta reach out soon. Definitely do some content. But yeah, I don't know about you, bro, but I think he's gone.
Like I said, man, for my argument is, I said you said what's the minimum you'll take from, and my argument is it's 180 million, no less. I just think with the lack of strikers out there,
pounds or euros?
No, pounds. I think it's 200 million euros. And people can say I'm sniffing glue or whatever. I just think, what do you need to spend to go and get that amount of goals back in your team? Do you need 2 players? Is the one player that you're going to get to guarantee the goals that he's getting? I don't think there is. I think you need 2 players. And that costs over 100 million euros, in my opinion. Plus, you need a backup striker. So that's got to come out of that money. I mean, you could argue you go and get that Samu that you wanted about. If Porto's changed his name, I'm a big fan. Is he going to get the amount of goals that Isak got you? It's a little bit of a gamble. So then you need to go and buy another player that you knows can get you some goals. So is that a Mateta? Or you go and get a superstar, which is going to cost massive money. And will he come? Because are we going to give them the wages? This is where this problem.
Or some other club that's interested in them also swoop in and be like, nope, we're going to have them instead. Yeah. Like we tried with Katike.
I'd like to see Martinez from Inter Milan. I really would. I'd go and break the bank and try and get him. I think I think he's a perfect signing for Newcastle.
Why?
His passion, the way he goes on, it's just the character that he is. He's a maverick, and he's got quality. Simple as that. And
I'm thinking more Marcus Thuram, his strike partner.
I like Thuram. I just think Martinez is the better player of the two.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Who has the better first touch?
Martinez.
Are you sure?
I think he's better all around, mate. I mean,
who's stronger?
You tell me in the chat. Am I wrong? I'm quite happy to be wrong. I just think Martinez
is... Who's physically stronger?
Oh, well, that's by the by who's stronger, Mateta or Isak. It's Mateta, but look, who's going to sell the more shirts?
Lautaro
The
or
World Cup winner
Thuram?
or Marcus Thuram?
Yep. He was better than Martinez last year, by the way. This is true. This is very true.
Well, I agree. That's one season. No, I would argue that Martinez has done it for. I totally agree with him. Totally agree. He had a great season last season. I'd like to know who got the most assists sort of for each other. Probably put money on. Some Martinez rescued them a few times in the Champions League at the group stage. He really did. Look,
So you're saying who got more assists?
Yeah, for each other, and obviously overall. I think Martinez is the type of player that can bring others into the game more. Ultimately, it's potato. I like both players, but I would choose Martinez.
Okay.
And he'd sell a lot of shirts. So for PSR reasons, that would help with. Look, Thuram's going to sell a lot of shirts as well.
Contract though, how much years he got? He's got 4 years left on his deal, and his market value is 95.
Right, but if you sell Isak, you can afford him.
Yeah, but this is my problem. I'm not sure who I would pick between Thuram and Martinez, and price wise, if one of them, all right, Andy, if one of them is 50 million and the other's 100, who are you taking?
Well, you've got to argue which one's 100 because Thuram's a lot younger, isn't he? So his value is going to be probably higher.
No, they're similar age actually.
Are they?
Yeah, Marcus Thuram is 27, 26,
Right, okay.
27. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chat Sports just put in there. I like Gakpo, but I don't see him as an out-and-out striker. He'd have to play back up to somebody, in my opinion.
Left wing. See, but we already have a Hakpo.
If you've got a Garassi and Gakpo, not bad.
Yeah. I would have taken Ritegi as well.
Yeah, he went it. Has he actually gone to Saudi, has he?
Yeah, it's official.
I've seen the links, but I didn't know he'd went. Yeah, that's what I thought, Chats. I thought about 80 million quid. And you could give him a big contract and also bump up a couple of others in the squad to be not too far away from him to keep the dynamic in the squad with the money that you get from Isak. Bearing in mind that for PSR, it's going to spread over 3 years you're spending. So,
Please take Hakpo. He's rubbish.
I quite like him.
Well, Andy, don't take him serious. This is the same guy who said
it's
this.
Disappointing. I hear you. I made it. I get it. I understand.
Here now.
I get it. We're all here now. Ryan over there
By
starring
the way,
it, but
can
here
I
we
just
are.
say the two girls below us are looking 16 out of 10s today, both of them. Right,
I big up the panel. I thought I'd just let you bum in it. You know what I'm saying? Let you sit in the bum. That's what it is. Like I'm not involved.
I remember watching that. Yeah, you'll not live that down, will you?
So yeah, Ryan, don't take him serious. It is what it is. Big up Ryan. What do you guys think of Eddie saying he wasn't expecting Mitchell to leave after having disagreements with him all last season? Do you believe him? Because I don't. He wanted that to happen.
PR bollocks, to be honest.
Yes, it's bollocks.
PR bollocks.
It's like saying oh, I wasn't out with that girl the other night, like, and you could just tell, like, yeah, you fucking were. You were. We all know it.
You can still, yeah, I'm not going to say it well live on YouTube, but you know what, yeah. Yeah. I like Luis Openda, yeah, I do like Openda.
Yeah.
RB. But
he's better than Sesko. I'll tell you that much. He's better than Sesko.
It's not an out striker, in my opinion.
You could argue Lautaro's not. You could argue Lautaro is better as a second striker than a lone 9.
Yeah, you could argue that, but I just think he's flexible. He's not. I just think it's a personal choice. I'm not going to look. The stats might argue against us, and that's fine. I'll concede it. But
I'm not a stats guy, though. You know that.
The stats would have went against you saying Chris Wood was going to score 20 goals for Forest this season, and they would finish where they did. So football's a strange thing.
Yeah, but you know me, I'm not really a stats guy.
Yes, Warrior, it is. Yes, it
I
is.
sparingly. Yeah, I'm still fucking annoyed. And I haven't even gotten to the Wissa thing yet in depth. Because
I mean,
I
is there
think
any, is it happening, Merchant? This is where I go to. He's got that striker instinct in the box. That's what I like about him, and he thinks up well. Play. I think if he was at Man City, you'd probably see Haaland. Look, I'm not saying he's better than Haaland, but I just think if Man City had a striker near Haaland's level to back him up, you would actually see that Isak's far better than Haaland all round, in my opinion. Hence why we should be getting.
I think Haaland since he's joined Man City, similar to when Cristiano Ronaldo joined Real Madrid, has lost some technical ability.
No, I just think it's Man City don't play to his strengths in the sense of if he was at a Liverpool and it's dynamic football, counter attack, and he can run against them high lines, he would probably look. His goals would be better goals. But because he's at Man City, they've got to recycle it. The amount of runs he makes, doesn't get the ball is ridiculous. Honestly, it must drive him fucking, excuse me French, fucking crazy the amount of runs he makes and he doesn't get the ball.
They played a lot better. Didn't you watch the Club World Cup Al Hilal game? Did they play better in that? Like more direct?
But they could afford to though, couldn't they? Because look, Haaland's, for me, he's sometimes got the touch of a baby elephant, and then other times he's deadly in the box. But when he's outside the box, he's nowhere near as good as Isak, in my opinion.
No, I agree with that. Big up Ryan Room as well. Big up to you.
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, well, I haven't seen you for a while, mate. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. 2 players this window isn't good enough.
Yeah,
I counted
the one there, chat sport. Ramos, I said we should have signed him when he left Benfica, but obviously PSG goes on to again.
Yeah.
Would he lead the line for?
I would rather have him be a backup than the main. I'd rather let someone else take that risk.
Yeah, but who? And get him? How much are you going to spend? I'm thinking if he's.
I just said, all right, Marcus Thuram or Ramos.
Oh, Thuram. I would take Marcus Thuram over Ramos, maybe. I think Ramos is probably a better all-round technical player, but I think Thuram is more of a
presence.
Weapon.
Yeah. Why do you think the Newcastle window has been in a shambles? All right, I'll give my answer, then I'll give Andy's. Actually, I want to hear Andy's first. Why do you think this Newcastle window's been terrible?
I just pick my yellow pages up and read off the reasons. I think the ultimate reason is the late decision to let Mitchell go. I think that was an ultimatum set by Eddie. I think it was a case of, look, if you want me to stay here and carry on what I've done, and one of when needs to leave. I think, we've probably heard Mighty Wynn say this. Look, I don't know if it's true, but I believe that it to be. I think it was an ultimatum Mitchell had to go, and I think it's poor planning from us, and it's reactions rather than proactiveness. Whoever's in charge of negotiating the deals is stealing a living, in my opinion.
Is that Steve Nick? Who did we just hire? We just hired somebody.
It's some kid from Atlanta. Some American lad from Atlanta FC.
Atlanta United? Who?
Yeah.
Steve Nicks? What are you talking about?
I can't pronounce his name. His name's longer than I care to say, mate.
What is he, Greek?
Something like that.
Let me look up.
But yeah, there's many other reasons. For me, like, everyone's saying who's to blame. I think ultimately you hear this from Eddie. No one's ever solely to blame for a loss in a game. I think it's the same off the pitch. It's a team effort. But my argument would be,
are you talking about
Eddie Howe's going to carry the can. If it
guy
goes wrong in late October, November, and because of the recruitment he loses his job, he's the one that's going to carry the can. My argument to him would be now is he needs to say to the board, I need to be more involved in this because you're not the one that your head's not on the chopping block. Mine is. I've got a budget. Let me split the budget as I see fit.
This is the lad you're on about. And no, he's from Atalanta, Italy.
Isn't that what I said? No.
No, you said Atlanta.
Yeah, sorry. I knew he's from.
Yeah.
All right.
So
But
this,
I still, regardless where he's from, I can't say his name. So
it's Sadarshan Gopalariskan.
I'll
India.
take your word for it.
Yeah. He joined Atalanta in 2022, head of sports science. He played a role in recommending Rasmus Højlund. Ooh, that's not good.
Well, I mean,
That's not
you got
good.
him 60-odd million. I mean, if you can do that for us.
Yeah, but that's more of Manchester United being very stupid and bad at negotiations. But like, sure, I'll give him some credit.
Hey, look, there's always a football club with too much money somewhere.
And that are dumb. Yeah.
Let's just hope it's not us when we sell Isak.
That's what I'm scared about.
I mean,
So yeah,
of
Warrior,
the ones
that's
in the chat, if there's any Newcastle supporters, even if you're not, what would you, if it was your club, what would you be calling for? Do you sell them? You know, all of the big clubs have done it in time. I mean, Liverpool are now spending the Coutinho money. I mean, they've been spending it for the last 10 years, haven't they? That was their break point. You know, when they sold that, they went to the next level. Villa had it when they sold Grealish. Man City, arguably, back ages ago, they've had plenty of outgoings where they're getting plenty of money for players. So, look, in an ideal situation, you want to see Isak stay, but I don't want to see a player stay if his heart's not in. We don't know whether the circumstances around of. I don't think his representatives are doing him any favors in PR, publicity, or popularity, because all it screams to us is, I want more money, I want more money, I want more money. And that's fine if it's done the right way. It seems as if it's the fact that he's training on his own or isolated training with Lewis Hall, apparently, screams to me, yes, he might have a slight knock and it might be happening, but all it's doing is putting fuel on the fire. The fact that he might have upset teammates, he might have upset Eddie, he might have upset the board.
I agree with Chat Sports, yeah. If he wants to go, then let him go. Yeah. I'm not trying to keep.
The club will still be here one day when he's long gone and retired. Newcastle United will still be around. So
no, not according to some people. We have to keep Isak at all costs, and otherwise the club's just gonna crumble to pieces. We'll never find a striker as good as him.
Under the right circumstances, though, right? If he wants to stay, if he's willing to take a reasonable, and when I say reasonable, I mean realistic amount of money that the club can pay him short term. It could be a case of it. We give him X, Y, and Z from now, say 220 a week. We get Champions League football next season. We've still got the revenue that goes up another 20 grand a week. You know what I mean? The following season, another 20 grand a week. As long as we keep an up to pace with progression, we can pay him. The risk is you give him a huge contract now and you don't get Champions League football next season. You've got to sell him. Because
Which we're in, by the way. Look at the pretty background. We're in there. Yay. You don't have the squad depth right now for it, because we also sold Longstaff, which I'm glad, but I'm kind of worried that we're not really looking at midfielders. I haven't really seen us linked with any midfielders.
What gets me, Steve, is when you look at the Pogba deal, right? When Pogba went back to Man United for 99 million quid. They reckon there was a further 20 million spent by Man United in fees to agents, representatives, whoever. Imagine the money that the agents are potentially rubbing their hands together if Isak was to leave.
Yeah.
This is the ulterior motives that some people in his ear will be telling them for the right reasons. Look, you are worth more money. You need to ask for more money. But the easiest way to manipulate a way out of a club is to ask for money that they can't pay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Isak's 2 years, right? 2 years left.
Yeah, he's got 2 years left on his deal. No, he's got 3 years left on his deal.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, Ryan, exactly. Yeah, Isak and his agent know Newcastle won't give him anywhere near. I think the maximum we'll offer is 250 in wages.
I don't think we can go. I don't think theoretically basic rate we can't afford to go above, not only financially but also dynamically in the dressing room. In Choppy, I think they will. Look,
yes, of course,
he's still scoring goals for we will still be cheering him.
There
might be a few that might not, but As long as he's still, when he crosses that white line, giving his best, then I'm more than happy. It's when they start missing games with the little knocks regularly, and you know something's up. That's when, and God help him if he does go on like that, because he'll sharp. His legacy will be, and it will be such a shame as well, by the way, because he doesn't strike me the type. I just think, unfortunately, he's a young lad, and he's got a lot of people that have got ulterior motives in his ear, and they're telling them the right advice, but unfortunately, I think they're telling them for the wrong reasons.
Could be. Melon, I actually agree with you. In terms of a Longstaff replacement, yes, I would take an Ugochukwu from Chelsea. I would. What about you?
He's
got
been
the
a little bit
physicality.
hit and miss. He comes in, he has a good game, and then you don't see him for a while, and then he comes in. Would I take him as a Longstaff?
Yeah, but that was the same thing with Lewis Hall, wasn't it? He got the odd game here and there.
Yeah, I mean, there's worse options.
He was good in France for Stade Rennais when Chelsea bought him as well. Like, it was a good. So it's like he hasn't flopped like a Madueke. He just went on loan, and
he's a presence as well, isn't he? He's a big dude.
yeah, physically he would. Yeah.
I mean, he fits the Eddie Howe profile, doesn't he? I'm not sure whether that.
Especially for
would it
only
be the right move for him. Would it be the right move for him? Would he get a lot of games? That's
yeah, because I don't think Joe Ellington's going to stay fit. And I think Willock leaves as well. I think Willock leaves.
I think if Willock leaves, there's a lot, as well as obviously Longstaff leaves, you can go a little bit, you can be a little bit more ambitious, I think, for the now rather than the future.
Yeah.
Apparently we have to some Coventry lad from Coventry.
Who?
Rodoni, I think he's called.
I don't mind. By the way, I don't even mind that it's championship, because if you look at a Palace,
there's good players in the championship.
Oh yeah, I mean Wharton was from there. Eze they bought from Reading, brilliant signing. Oh, there's some good ones. All right, so you said it's Rodoni.
That's him,
24. 1.85 meters. Okay.
Quite a few links.
Rian,
do I believe that the Al Hilal rumours are true? Do I believe that they've got the facilities to buy him, and would they be interested if he was available? Yes. Do I think Isak would really want to go there? I would be surprised if arguably the best striker in Europe is happy to go and play in Saudi at the peak of his career. I know there's obviously Ronaldo's and everything have done it, Benzema's, but let's be honest, they were at the other side of their best. Look, it all depends what takes priority for Isak, trophies or cash.
I'm not even, don't want him. I think he's rubbish. I think he's one of the worst wingers in the league.
And Chotty's right. I mean, ideally, if you want to let Alexander Isak go, ideally you don't want to let him go. But who in theory has got the money to buy him? PSG, Liverpool could probably raise the funds if they sold a few players. Chelsea maybe could sell some players. So there's two Premier League teams. Outside of that, Barca's skint. Real Madrid's got a bit of money. Only other one I could really argue a case for is Atletico. Madrid could sell a few. They've got Llorente, they've got Alvarez. If they were to really go for it and sell them too, they could arguably probably buy Isak.
Yeah.
But other than that, I honestly don't see anyone that's capable of paying the money.
Bayern Munich.
I don't even think they could afford him. They'd have to get rid of Kane as well, really, wouldn't they?
No, you could play Kane as a 10 and Isak, or
I think to fund it, if I'm honest. Hey, they can have him if they give him Musiala and some money.
Al Nasser. By the way, Angel still is a brilliant young midfielder. You should go to Real Madrid because they need someone like him.
Is that the kid with the cleft lip? He's got the cleft lip at Germany.
Nose, the weird nose and the excellent.
Seen him a few times. Seen him play a few times.
I'd take him definitely.
I like Bayer at Dortmund. Forward.
He's at a good place right now in Dortmund. Well, I say that they're kind of rubbish, to be honest. But
Yeah, they're inconsistent on there. They were really struggling.
he'll get good game time there and develop. But
They had a bit of a run at the end of the season, didn't they, to save the season?
what about Harvey Elliott?
I just don't see. I don't see that at this moment in time. I don't see him coming to us. He won't get in the side. I don't see him saying there's a World Cup coming up. He needs to play for me. I think in a year or two, yeah, have a look at him. But at the moment, no.
Yeah. If this Isak saga continues, which it will, he wants to come to us, then do you think he plays for you when we play each other in August?
Who's this Liverpool fan, is it?
Yeah.
They're not signing Isak as well as Ekatike, let's be honest.
Unless they sold Nunez and our Elliott and like a few others.
You'd have to sell a few. And then they need a centre-back, arguably. I think that's what, if I was
Yes.
Liverpool, that's what I would be looking at.
Konate is a bit injury prone. I think he's class, but he is a bit injury prone.
You've got Joe Gomez, who, albeit when he's fit, good player.
He's not fit
Injuries.
that often, though.
They've lost Quansah, so they'll be looking to try and get the Gahey deal done, I think, by the end of the window. I think that'll be their last player. There'll be a couple go out. Whatever they bring in will be to get Gahey in.
Yeah. Let's see.
But it's a case of how long really do Newcastle wait to see what happens with Isak before they've got to hit the button anyways and do the business, because the problem is if you do the conservative business and get a Wissa and then get a centre back and maybe another midfielder to cover across the midfield, and then 3 days before the end of the window Liverpool sell the players that you mentioned, or Chelsea even maybe, because they could sell a starting 11 in the Premier League, couldn't they? Let's be honest, and still survive to get Isak.
Yeah.
So that would be my worry. You either tie him down, then go in the transfer market, or you're gonna have to try and fit another very good striker in who can maybe cover another position, so you know that they're going to get games. And then if Isak does leave, then you've got a backup. I think that's the problem. That's the thing that's worrying me, is that because let's be honest, we haven't had the best window in the sense of predicting things so far. So I haven't got that much faith in them predicting what I'm thinking might happen, in the sense if they go the conservative way, don't go aggressive in the market, and then lose Isak at the end of the window.
Yeah. What do you make first to kind of transition more to the Wissa talk? First of all, what do you think of Wissa, like the signing, like about the player?
He's a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
I would say I would say his strength, he's a master of. I think he is, especially for how little he is. That guy can nudge off players. He bounces off players all the time.
He's probably scored more Premier League goals with his head than Alexander Isak, and he's probably 6-7 inches smaller than them.
Yeah, what? Wissa's 5'7",
maybe 5'8", maybe.
I reckon maybe even a little shorter.
He's got a leap on him, but what he does do is
5'9".
He's got a bit of a knack for guessing where the ball's going to be when it drops, or he is underrated. I think underrated's a little bit of I agree, but I think anyone that watches realizes how good he is. As soon as Tony left Brentford, everyone was like, "Oh, what are they going to do? What are they going to do?"
Right.
I'm sure we did a live show around about that time, and you were singing his praise, saying, "You watch, Wissa come good."
And Mbeumo.
All they'll do is they'll play the two coming in from the wings as strikers, which is more or less what they did, didn't they?
And then they went to the 4-2-3-1 with Shada. And Shada had a good season.
Shada wasn't really in the side at the time, was it? This is more last season. I'm talking, not season just gone, the season before that.
Yeah.
It was really last season where Wissa's really been a focal point, where Mbembo's been a little bit further wide. Wissa's been the freelance striker. He's got a bit of everything. He can hit them from outside the area. He's not bad with both feet. He's not bad in the air, and he's good in the box. My worry for him would be has he
And
been
his injuries, by the
leading the
way.
line for Brentford? With all due respect, it's one thing leading the line for Brentford. It's a whole different thing going into St James's Park with 52,000 in Champions League music going. Has he got it in him? I hope we'll find out.
Couldn't you say the same about Wilson at the time when we bought him? I know we were shit, but
potentially, but I just think Wilson was a natural striker, so it wasn't really much of a. And he was confident. He's a confident guy, and I didn't think confidence is any problem with Colin Wilson. I mean, if I looked like that, I'd probably be confident and all. But no, I think that's the question mark I've got over Wissa. If he was if we had to hang our hat on him, but you don't know until you're put in that situation. Like I said to you before we went live, he is, and I think I might have mentioned it at the start, he is the conservative banker. Whichever scenario we've got, I would take Wissa. He might not be my first choice of that type of signing, but I would be happy with it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I just think he's powerful. He's good on the ball, scores goals for fun. I mean, three out of his 4 seasons with Brentford, he's got double-digit goals in all comps.
That's it.
10, 7, 12, and 20. And the other thing is that off the top of my head, I can't remember really any injury problems with him either.
I would also say he arguably had a better season than Brembo, because in Brembo's goals, a lot of them were penalties. 11 or 9 of his goals were penalties. I can't remember Wissa taking a penalty. He might have taken 1, 2. But I know nearly 50% of Brembo's Premier League goals, if not more, were from the spot. So from open play, you could argue he had a better season.
Yeah. But how many pens did Isak score?
Well, he scored a few as well, but you could argue, when you're getting over 20.
Did Embuemo get 20?
Did he get over 20 though?
No, he got 20, not over.
Hey, didn't he got 21? Did he? 20, 22. Not at 21, 22. Hey, look, he got big goals in cup competitions as well. He's like, look. It's not just the amount of goals you score; it's games that you score the goals in. Chelsea in the Carabao Cup could have been normally that's a game where that's what cup run done. Chelsea beat with they carry on. Then you've got the Arsenal game. Then you've got the final. He scored semi and final. That's what you call Drogba-esque in the sense of big big goal.
Yeah, no, I agree. Take a guess how many Kevin Schade scored for Brentford in the Prem.
What, last season?
Yeah.
11 maybe? 14 maybe? 11? Yeah, 11, yeah.
So, Andy, well, I'm going to tell you this now, and I've told other people, he's going to be the one that everyone wants next summer, because he'll step up. He'll step up this season and get probably 17 to 20, and he'll keep them up. And
he's got some pace on him as well. I just question whether he's a natural finisher.
Yeah, no, definitely more of a winger. Yeah. Definitely more of a winger. But they also have Carvalho still. So I don't really worry about Brentford for relegation. I new manager, I get that, but
I do.
Why? Whose squad is better out of the promoted 3?
It's not that. Sometimes it's not. You've got to remember the effect that it's going to have on some of the teammates that are there. When your best players leave, if you don't see encouraging signings coming in, it's easy for morale to drop. You then got an inexperienced manager. I'm not saying it's going to be his fault. I think their midfield is going to be the issue.
Well, they have Jordan Henderson now, so that might be an issue.
That's exactly why I'm saying that the issue is going to be midfield. I don't think they've got enough legs in that midfield. I really don't.
Milambo, the kid from Feyenoord, he's a good player.
Yeah, he is. Look,
Yarmolenko's
a hell of a good player.
Damsgaard. I worry about that if he's on Damsgaard.
But he's a Hollywood player for me, Damsgaard.
Damsgaard? Yeah.
Yeah. really only effective in the final third. The rest of the time, you do not really see him. He's a bit like Odegaard at Arsenal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless Brentford have a good game, then yeah, not for me. I like him in a good side. You'd say the best out of Damsgaard, but I mean, he probably got one of the most assists in the Premier League last season from open play. I would argue he got 10, 11. He's a good player in the final third. It's just having the ball enough for you to get into the final third, I think, might be their problem.
Yeah. How much would you pay tops, by the way? Well, and what's your valuation on Wissa? I would go as high as 50 for Wissa.
No way, not in a million years.
Why not?
He's got a year left on his deal.
Oh.
This goes again of our incompetence in the market. As soon as we see Man United starting to step up, I went on, we were on in UFC Talks TV last week, and it was the Thursday, and there was reports Man United were going to up the bid the following day for Mbembo, and I said, look, if we are in for Wissa, we need to pull our finger out and go and do it quickly, because it's probably easier to sort that deal out than it would be for them to get the Mbembo deal over the line, because ultimately then Man United's got to pay a little bit more money. But the fact that they've lost Mbembo now, for me, 35 million, so 33 up front, couple of million in add-ons, maybe take that to 37 with add-ons. Any more than that, I wouldn't be. Look, could you spend 35 million pounds worse? Yes, but I think if you're just a little bit patient, see what else goes, who else leaves other clubs, and who then is not going to get any football, I think 35 million will get you somebody else.
So you wouldn't go over 35.
Look, 33 plus maybe 5 in add-ons.
Well, I don't count add-ons, but
I wouldn't guarantee them more than 35 million.
Okay,
No
I would go high. I would go higher because I think he would be a very, very valuable asset. Like you said, actually, sorry, with the heading ability, quickness, ball striking is great. Like on the counter with him, Alanga and Gordon or Barnes, like that's decent.
I think
drop off from Isak.
It all depends, Steve, is who else is on the shopping list in the sense of a backup. Who else is there on our scouting program? Who else are they looking at? Because everyone that we've, how long's the list? There was Pedro. There was, obviously talk of Sesko, but again, I've said it. Sesko doesn't come unless Isak leaves, in my opinion. Guirassi's what, 29? 28, 29?
Oh, Wissa?
Guirassy at Dortmund.
Guirassi's like 29.
How much are you going to pay for Guirassy? For me, he's a 50, 60 million pound player. But the problem is, every fan's going to be talking about, well, there's no sell-on potential, etc., etc. We don't need sell-on. We don't need sell-on at the moment. We need someone to come in and do a job for it potentially. So
he's 29. Problem is he'll be at AFCON though, like you brought up.
And that's something I was just about to say. You get a Guirassy, you need somebody else. Wissa's no good because you're going to lose both of them. So is that when someone like an Evan Ferguson might have done your job, or then you're going to get the people saying the haunted word, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We sign him, I am not watching any Newcastle games next season. I'm telling you,
it's very, very toxic.
Cannot.
But I agree.
Well,
yeah.
Well, the problem that you've got is the Kilimuendo. How much is he going to cost?
30.
Okay, but
30.
he's a back.
Euros.
He's not the type of striker that you're going to buy that is going to come in and take Isak's place. He's either someone that you potentially look to play with, or when Isak
he's played mainly in the front too,
or rotation.
But at Lons about 2 or 3 years ago, he did the solo thing just fine. Played very well. So he's done it before. It's just he went to a club where they played with the front two mostly.
Choppy.
I would take Kalimuendo.
I can't even face the thought of that, Choppy.
here's some stats for you: 156 appearances in Liga, 53 goals, 18 assists, goal or assist every 190.
Who's that? Sorry.
Kelly Mwendo. One in three.
That's. It was
And
said.
you look at his physical. You look at his physical attributes. He's quick. He can do the running behind thing as well, like Isak. He can do the running behind thing. He's quick as fuck, man.
I'm just having a look at the comment. Maybe send the load on Sesko now. Like,
Yeah.
so we're not pushing. Yeah, it's
No, don't want him.
no.
Why didn't Isak to Liverpool? Could you imagine if he scored a hat trick? I mean, yeah.
I'd rather not think about that if I'm honest.
Yeah. I've heard Callum Wilson has gone to West Ham. Me too. That's
And
the
who did
team that I think
would go to? Who did
relegation.
that 50 would go to?
I think you said West
I'm
Ham.
sure I've got it in the message to you. I said you're going to meet his mate at Antonio at West Ham.
Antonio. Yeah, and they're probably going to get relegated. That's the team. That's the team that I think in a relegation. Yes.
No, I think Potter will stamp his authority on that.
I don't
think they're going to rip
Potter's-
up any trees next season, but I don't see them getting relegated. Look, we make a list of strikers that can replace Isak. I don't think the list's very long. Let's be honest. Boniface, I like. Again, you've got the problem with Afcon. Who else
Kelly
is there?
Mwendo. I'm putting Kelly Mwendo on
I
there.
get that. I mean, Jonathan David was one that you loved. I didn't see it personally. I'm thinking of young English. Is there any? Is there any? That is young English strikers. There isn't any. My mind's gone totally blank. Can't think of any.
Maybe in the championship, but I don't.
Got a couple in the championship, and you got the kid that's it just went to Birmingham last season, who's League One. Obviously, League One, but his figures in League One weren't. Let's see, he wasn't pulling up any trees in League One.
He's more of a winger, anyways.
Yeah,
more of a left forward.
Stansford, isn't it? Stansfield.
Yeah.
We might have to go and be a little bit adventurous and go South America, or
yes.
But then you're taking a gamble, or you try and sign a superstar. If you
it's all a gamble. It's all a gamble. Superstars, buying a superstar is a gamble.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because people, when Coutinho was bought by Barcelona.
They were saying obviously
Friedman.
Evan Ferguson could have done your job. Maybe could have done your job. I'm hearing he's going to Roma, isn't he? I don't think it's actually confirmed though, is it? Yeah. And that's the one Craven's just mentioned there. We were talking backstage before we came on about Samuel.
I think,
I like him. I do. I like him. I think he's got the presence to lead the line on his own. He's tricky. He's great in the air, by the way. Not very often you see players that are mobile that are still good in the air like he is. So he's an option. Do we really know how old he is though? Let's be honest. There's rumors that he's a little bit older than he says he is. Yeah, I'm clutching the straw. That ultimately, my worry is we don't know what's going on with these. Until we know what's going on with these, it's hard to have a clear plan.
Hold on. The other one that and I brought this name up to you before. Vangelis Pavlidis from Benfica.
Who?
Greek
Sorry?
striker. Greek.
Oh yes, Malavadilis or whatever his name is.
Pavlidis. Greek Harry Kane. He is the Greek version of Harry Kane.
He is, yeah. Look, he had a great Champions League campaign. He had scored a couple against England. Is he really Isak's replacement? Is it go back up?
Yes.
Yes. I don't think he's
No, you start him.
I honestly think, look, this is just a prediction. I'm not saying it's what I would do, but I think if Isak leaves, what we'll do is short terms, we'll sign Ollie Watkins. I think that's what we would do. And we'll get someone to back him up.
No. Not for me.
It's just the Prem proven Eddie where he's mobile, he's a good finisher. I think that the shortest fixes.
Do you think that's what's going to end up happening? We're going to sell Isak and get Ollie Watkins.
I think if we do sell Isak, I think it's a remote possibility that we'll go for Isak for Ollie Watkins, because apparently Villa need the money as well, don't they?
That's depressing.
It's depressing. No, it's more depressing the fact that Isak would be leaving.
Well, yeah.
I would love Julian Alvarez. I'm not sure he's not an out striker for us, if I'm honest. The wingers that would
Oh, yeah,
have.
you would. Yeah,
I love him,
yeah.
by that. I think he's a brilliant player. But that's going to be a hefty fee. They paid 90 million euros for him, didn't they? They're going to want some profit.
Yeah.
And I dread to think what his wages are. Oh, you'd be talking over
By the way,
300.
Atletico Madrid, I think people are finally realizing they are backed by our owners. They have Saudi investment. They're spending money this transfer window. They're spending money. Like they're going for La Liga, the title. And they're looking to sell Gallagher already.
My outside bet for the Champions League last season.
Yeah.
I think me and you had it.
You need better
picked
centre
Milan,
backs,
you picked Inter Milan, I picked Atletico. I think it was around about the first knockout stage. I really did fancy them. I just think they're hard to bloody beat, man. They don't get battered very often. Let's be honest.
There you go. There's Julian Alvarez wages. Oh, it's only 136,000 euros. Pounds, it's
Yeah. Okay. I would have thought you would have been on a lot more than that. To be fair.
Rodrigo de Paul is leaving for Inter Miami. Gallagher on 149 is one of the biggest wastes of money I've ever seen in my life. That's shocking, yo. Thank God we are not going anywhere.
We'll mention that to the mighty Win, because Win's got some chart that he'll bring up, and apparently his stats stand up against Tonali. Yeah, when he was at Chelsea.
I don't. This is why that right there is where stats lose me. They just lose me because it's like, yo.
Craven's just said that, right, if we could keep Isak and get Endrick on loan with a view to buy him for X, Y, and Z amount of pounds, knowing if we'd said to Isak, look, we're going to give you X, Y, Z, we're going to give you a new deal, there's a buyout clause there, a realistic one, say, 130 million quid for X, Y, and Z of certain clubs, Real Madrid's, PSG's, Man City, Liverpool, pick 5 teams, say, for example. Anybody else has got to pay 150. And then you've got the facility to make the Endrick deal permanent without, blowing your whole transfer that season. So, I mean, he's 18-year-old? Yeah, he's just getting married. He might want to settle down. It's one to potentially look at. I think it would take him a little bit of time to get used to the Premier League, though. I think he'd probably come in, have a couple of mentally good games, take everyone by surprise, and then, the physicality would catch up with him a little bit, and then he'd kick on again. There's no doubt he's got talent, is there?
Endrick?
Yeah.
I'm not convinced Endrick is good at anything besides ball striking.
It helps, like.
That's it, though.
Ramos keeps coming up. It's a one of them. Leonardo kid wasn't bad in the Club World Cup. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Marcus Leonardo. I didn't want Benfica to sell him. We got Belotti on loan as his replacement. Utterly dreadful.
Sure that would keep the new NUFC faithful happy if it was Isak's replacement. Back up, yes.
Not Ramos. No, for me.
Choppy, you bang on, but 300 grand a week over 5 years is big.
Fucking do it, Newcastle. Just
15
fucking do
million
it.
Season
then
for 5 years. 15 million. That's a hell of an investment. And then you're going to have to give a couple others in the squad a bit of a break as well.
Birat. I do like the look at him.
Well, that's someone that's been mentioned. Someone mentioned on. I'd heard the name and I wasn't on. It was Wynn looked at his stats and his stats were eye opening. Like,
his goal. Because he joined from Sturm Graz to Monaco, and then
something like 0.7 goals a game, nearly a goal a game. So that's one. And apparently he's got English heritage. He was
Arsenal Academy.
Then went Arsenal Academy after that. and then obviously got released.
Yeah.
So that might be one.
Yeah.
Monaco probably need the money as well. They've had plenty. They seem to
Nah.
get. Well, I'm just.
You know who owns them?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Look who owns us, but we still need to sell players. You know, we still need to bring money in for pay. It doesn't matter. You can have all the money in the world, but if the rules are against,
they've had much more years of Champions League revenue than us.
They've had a lot of years of overpaying players as well. They still apparently they're still over £90 million out in transfers. All right.
True.
So.
True. But anyways, big up everybody for joining. I gotta wrap it up because I have another watch along to do in about 10 or 15 minutes. But yeah, I'm actually.
If you could quickly do a poll before we go.
Do a poll.
Does Isak stay? Or does he go?
All right, we'll run that.
Yeah, Greenwood would look footballer. Can't argue.
I'd take yeah.
Morales.
I don't give a shit about that stuff because it's none of my business what him and his lady. I don't know and I don't care. Just like with you, Andy.
I'm just thinking of the headlines of all the players for us to sign, considering who our owners are when you're on about human rights and how men treat women.
You know what? At this point, you may as well embrace the villain role like Atletico Madrid do. That's what I'd do. But we'll get the poll up and going.
What's that? Sorry, not a Newcastle fan, but he's staying 100%. I hope you're right.
I got Jarvis. Tactical.
I hope you're right. At the end of the day, how long is it going to take before something is said? This is another thing that's not been done in the transfer market by NUFC for months.
By the way, I'm voting yes. I think he is. I think he's gone.
I don't even know how to put the vote on, if I'm honest, but yeah, I'm going to say no. Sorry, I lost my trail of thought there. Totally gone. I'm getting Arjun now. You say something to us, I'm gone.
You're talking about Beereth or who?
No, gone. Gone, mate. We all have
another name, Raul Jimenez. If we weren't signing Wissa, then I'd consider Jimenez for like 20 as a backup.
Hey, Muniz might come back around.
All right, not Munoz. No. Yeah, me and Andy were just talking about Samu Agahawa. Let me show you actually how you spell his name.
You could show us 50 times. I'll forget by the time the stream.
No, it's not. It's not like super long or anything.
That's
Hold
what
on.
she said.
Let me just. Samu Agahawa. There you go.
Akihawa. Right, okay.
Agahawa.
I'm sure there was a Nigerian footballer years ago on Football Manager had the same name and he was mint.
Yeah.
I like him. I just think he ticks every box that Eddie likes. Big, strong, athletic, pacey. Has a physicality, so it wouldn't surprise me.
That Porto team, by the way, is crap. It's terrible. It's probably the worst Porto team that I've seen since 2014. It's a dreadful Porto team, and he still got goals.
I like his eagerness to put his head where others wouldn't.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not pretending to see him loads and loads and loads. I've seen him a couple of times live, and I've seen a few YouTube clips. He looks like he's good all rounder. Wagwan, Mr. Andrew.
Big up Donna Cullen.
What's that?
Don't mind no attention to Donna Cullen, but yeah. Let's see. Actually,
what's Wagwan mean?
Jamaican for like what's up.
All right. Yes.
Wagwan is like what's going on. Wagwan.
Ah, right. Okay.
What's going on?
So I'm not up with it. He used to say big up all the time on YouTube 2 years ago, and I was like, what are you talking about, mate? I'm nearly 40, man. The fact that I can still turn a laptop on is an achievement.
I would take the young kid Esposito at Inter. Yeah. I would take a gamble on him.
Is that what you were sending me the other day? You asked me the other day if I liked a player, and I went, but not enough.
No, that was a Stupinian.
Ah, Sweden, right, okay. All right.
That was a Stupinian. Who's going to AC Milan? I think that's a good signing for them, considering Teo Hernandez has been absolutely dog shit.
Sorry, I know what I was going to say before. The PR coming from Newcastle has been as clear as mud for the last 2 months. We've had no fan clarity from them. Nothing they've had. They've not come out and included the fan base in any way, shape, or form. Yesterday, I had a little PR thing at the stadium that day with some players and kids having the photos taken. Sam Mulner was there. He had his photo. Shout out Sam Mulner. But there's nothing coming from the club to kind of engage with, put our minds at rest. Everything just seems to be, the hole seems to be getting deeper. That's how I feel. And until they see that situations, look, if it's hard for the average fan to think of a clear way out of the striking situation, I don't think they expected this. I think it's come out of the blue because of the Ekitike deal. I think,
because we have not been prepared this whole summer for
lack of preparation, exactly. And
yes,
for me, a lot of people are saying, well, it's whoever's in charge now. Isak's deal was reportedly promised to him to be done by the end of the financial year last year, so by the 1st of April this year. And Mitchell decided against it and said, look, he's getting 120 grand a week. He's more than paid enough. Look, clearly, he might be good at spotting a player, apparently, but in my eyes, he's not good enough at spotting the value of a player. Because the blind man and Galton Horse could tell you that 120 grand a week leaves you vulnerable to clubs coming in to try and take him, because there's average, and let's be honest, average players in the Premier League getting more money than that. Like you said, Conor Gallagher's getting paid more than Alexander Isak.
150 grand a week.
What's that? Yeah. Isak's 130 apparently.
20
pounds. They on. So when you consider, look, Grealish is on 300 odd grand a week, and he's not even kicking the football. So
that's fair.
That tells you everything you know for me.
Yeah. I'm gonna end the poll. Put it up for 5 minutes. So, is Isak staying or leaving? Here are the results. 68% yes, no 31%. I think that's pretty accurate.
So, yes, he
stays. By the way, Burkhart, by the way, Jarvis, Burkhart got signed by Eintracht Frankfurt. So, can't have him. I would take Patrick Schick.
Do you know what it is? I've been screaming his name on the WhatsApp group for the last, how long? 2 years?
This is a very bad idea.
Demirovic from Stuttgart as well.
Yes.
I think I would have him as well. Definitely as a backup. He wouldn't be my starter. She got a few goals last season. I'm sure he was their top goal scorer last season. Must have been 20.
Patrick Schick? No.
I bet I'm sure he was one of the top goal scorers in the Bundesliga last season. Got more than Ekitike, I think.
Patrick Schick? No, he did not. He got like 10.
He came back from injury at the start of the season. They were bedding him in a little bit at the start of the season. And then
he scored.
His minutes to goals will be really good.
Yes. Yeah. All seasons.
Yes, he's maybe not the quickest on the ground, but if you put pacing around him.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. Oh, you know why? Because yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot.
I can't really see. I've got the screen small.
He got 21 goals last year in the Bundesliga. Yeah, you were right. He had a sneaky.
I'm going to clip that up. You're saying I'm right.
He does have a bit of injury problems, but yeah,
he does get injured.
This is a bad idea, by the way. Grealish and Newcastle Brown Ales. That's a terrible idea.
Look, if you could get him on loan and pay 100 grand a week or something, yeah, I would. I actually would. I honestly didn't give him monkeys if a player goes out and enjoy himself. As long as they're professional when they're supposed to be, in the try when they cross the white line. I mean, what do they think? Do they think Lee Clark was, the likes of them in the mid-90s weren't going out? They were going to Tuesday club at Uno's restaurant on the quayside every week. I know, because I used to wash the dishes for them. And they used to have a drink, mate. So Look, he's a young lad. Everything in moderation.
Yeah, I don't think he does moderation.
You don't know the drink. Look, we only see what we get told in the newspaper. We don't get told in the newspaper how much he does for charity and all these different things. You don't know whether there's something going on at Man City that he's drinking. He could be having a drink because he's sick of sitting on the bench and he's not playing. He feels unwanted. Changes of clubs can change players. So,
maybe Andy, y'all were just overrating him at Aston Villa, and he was just.
Come on, he's a good player. If you could get him for what, $5 million a year, i.e., he's $100,000 a week wages, and a couple of million fee, someone paid £100 million for him. If someone had said to you 3 years ago, you can have Grealish for 40 million, would you have signed him?
No.
Right, well, you're probably the only one on that one. I would buy him simply because he offers something none of our midfielders.
Play him in midfield and see if he can do the creativity thing. That's fine.
It's not that he's able to retain possession. He's able to keep it, slow the game down when you need to. It's frustrating to watch when he does it for Man City because he can't.
But Gio Reyna can freaking do that. Retain possession and win fouls.
Right. But look, he offers you something he can play as a 10. I like them as a 10. Yeah. I'm not a massive fan of him.
Wow.
Good player, and he's tricky, and he's capable of the. He's a little bit of the.
Clever. He's clever.
He is clever, but not for me. And I can totally understand why Tactical Devils has said that. It's not to say he's wrong. It's just I think otherwise. That's all. But there's no right or wrong. So really, when it comes to football, let's be honest.
I do think it's stupid.
Well, then you're saying, you wouldn't take Grealish for 40 million back then because you would have.
I've just never been crazy about him. That's just me. We're gonna end it there though, because again, I have to do a watch along in about 10 minutes ish. But Andy, thank you for joining and discussing Newcastle. I'm sure in a week when we sell Isak for under 180 million, we're not getting 180 for him. I don't think we are, but. We'll see. But anyways, yes.
We're not getting 180 million for him. He doesn't leave.
Huh?
If you don't get 180 million for him, he doesn't leave. If it's my choice, if you don't get 180 million, he doesn't leave.
Unfortunately, it's not your choice.
If Enzo Fernandez is worth 120 million euros, nearly 110 million quid.
It's a release clause.
I don't care if it's a release clause or a bloody dare. They still paid it. Look, he's a decent player, but come on, for what he offers Chelsea to what Isak offers us, and what we've then got to try and do to replace him, he's worth 180 million quid.
I agree. I just don't think we'll get the money for him given the situation now. But
then he gets
for another day.
Pull his pants up, suck it up, buttercup, and get on with it. That's what I would be telling him. You know what I would say? I would say there's a 6'4" Brazilian sitting in that dressing room on his own. If you go in there and have a fight with him and walk out and he doesn't, then I'll let you leave. But I bet you he doesn't get out of that dressing room. So there you are. That's his challenge.
That's fair. But yeah, we are gonna wrap it up here, people. Big up Andy, and like I said, we'll probably be back here. We'll probably be back here in a week. I'm gonna try to do this a weekly thing with me and Andy because we have good convo.
Really dose of Steve, like
good crack. Well, yeah, I can't really stand you either, but here we are. So
I will say this: if we're still talking about this in 2 weeks, same thing. I am not doing it. Honestly, I'll not be sober. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Me either, man.
Thank you everybody for watching.
Thank you everybody for watching. Yes, and yes, hit the likes. Take care. Peace.